Good evening, guys.
Hi, everyone. How are you? And who are you? And where are you? That should be our
intro. Yeah. It was nice. It was good. It was clear. There was plenty of diction, and it was a kind of trio of very succinct questions. I liked it. Well, to answer, I am Gabriel. I'm from Birmingham in the UK. And I've had a nice day. Who are you? In response to your how are you?
Yeah, it's good. Well, I am Emily. Oh, I should do it in the right order. I'm fine. I'm doing well. I'm Emily, and I am in Rome, but I'm from Cambridge in the UK, in England. And please, we want to hear from the students. Don't make us talk to each other. That would be boring for everybody.
We don't want to talk to each other, really. It's really.
I see a lot of Gabriel these days.
It's true. We need fresh faces. We need new opinions. We know each other's opinions. We need more controversy.
Probably there are people writing, and we're going to get a long list of answers.
I'm sure there are. Yep.
Well, I'll go forward and we can read the doodad.
Yeah.
Hi, Robbie. We've met you before, I'm sure.
Robbie,
I remember your 3
how are you doing?
P's. In this focused activity, we have describe a dependency, describe the difference between a dependence and an addiction, and phrasal verbs.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Alice.
Alice, hi. Giovanni. On Alice's comment, there's like a little mark on my computer screen in front of the M sign. So I can see FM, and it looks like good evening, FM Gabe.
FM Gabe. I would listen to that.
FM being the radio station, effectively.
Yeah. Gabe FM. What does FM stand for? I don't know.
Oh, do you know FM and AM? Right, that's embarrassing, isn't it? Analog, maybe? Is AM and frequency modulation?
Oh.
Highly technical, isn't it? Yeah. And we have Jacqueline from Peru, or I don't wanna Italianize that or Spanishize that in case I'm really wrong. So I'm just gonna stick with Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. Yeah.
That's how we would say it in English, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe we should call them all by English names. John, Alice, Robbie is the same, and Jacqueline.
Yeah.
So Giovanni, you are now John, if you don't mind.
I really prefer Alice though to Alice. I think the Italian is much nicer in a way. I don't know. What do you think?
I like both. I like Alice, but I also like Alice. Is a very pretty name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a theory that all names sound better in a French accent. A lot of names sound better in an Italian accent, but with French, it really works. So Alice, Jacqueline, Emily.
It's true.
The only exception is Douglas. Douglas does not sound better in a French accent.
Could you do it for us? Douglas. 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 Emily is very nice though. Emily.
Yeah. Emily.
I used to have a German hairdresser that I used to go to. And she used to say, Gabriel. Gabriel. She used to say, hello, Miss. Which I think was the most shocking pronunciation of my name.
It is shocking. I didn't know how it was going to sound with the German pronunciation of Gabriel, but I enjoyed it. Lots of friends call Alice Alice.
Alice.
Marcello. I love the name Marcello. It's much nicer than Mark, anyway. Well, Marco.
That's Marco, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Marcel, then.
Marcel. That already sounds French, though, in a way. I don't know.
Marcel.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting sorry. This is besides the point. We're getting distracted. So yes, on to we have Jackie.
Good.
Okay, nice. Now we all know. Now we're all on friendly terms as well. Ways to get by. Yeah, we're looking at dependencies and addictions, those kinds of things. What things can you not live without, guys?
I'm going to make a list as well.
What things can you not live without, and why do you depend on them?
But this doesn't mean water and air. It means not things that you literally can't live without, but your favorite things that you depend on. And it's interesting doing this exercise in quarantine, because my list now is quite different. I like Alicia's list. But the list I'm writing now is quite different to what I would write normally. I think I cannot live without good wine, good sex, dance, and listening to good music. Good list. I don't know if I agree about the dancing part. I'm not much of a dancer. Not in public, anyway. Yeah.
And also meeting and talking to friends and family. I miss it a lot. Yeah. That's interesting. I like that as well, because you've given us a lot of activities, rather than material objects to an extent.
Yeah. I've got 7.
This is where all of the addictions come to the fore, isn't it? Do we have subcategories?
Are you making a list as well, Gabe?
I don't know. I've just got a lot of alcohol down as well.
I'm thinking about food. Is there a food type that I would really miss?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
But I don't know what. Oh, I know.
Again, for the subcategories.
And we want to hear from Giovanni and Jackie as well, and Robbie.
Yeah, nice. In this period, I depend on video games and everything that keeps you busy, we might say, keeps you busy.
Yeah. And Alice can't live
Yeah,
without
excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's quite true, Giovanni. I cannot live without pizza, obviously, yeah.
Well, I've got 9. That's probably enough.
Oofed.
My 9 are Spotify, but just music in general, but Spotify in particular. I put ukulele, but that's a recent addition to the list.
Since yesterday, you can't live without your ukulele.
I got a ukulele on Monday, but it was
transformed
in my quarantine experience. I put tea, coffee, wine, beer, books, which probably, to be honest, is number 1 of the whole list. Tuna and art supplies. Art supplies in general. Could be any particular type.
You filled out, yeah, coffee was one as well, definitely, for me. I had largely the same ones on your list, except I would put cheese in there as well.
Actually, yeah.
I would also put cheese.
Cheese might be more important than tuna, actually.
Semi-dependency for me, yeah.
Robbie says, I can't live without coffee. Sun, that's a good one. My independence, my family and friends, and music. I haven't other dependencies. That's pretty good. We would say, Robbie, I don't have. To say I haven't is a bit old-fashioned today. So 100 years ago, it was normal. But today we always say, more or less always, we say, I don't have. So to have we use the auxiliary, just like other present tense verbs. I don't go, I don't like, I don't want, I don't have. But great. And Jackie, I cannot live without my music, an interesting book, and good food. Yeah, absolutely. Nobody said their phone. I probably should add my phone as my last one, if I'm being honest. I think I do rely on my telephone a lot, or maybe computer is even more important.
I think I would put my computer in there as well. My phone, I'm really more indifferent to. In fact, sometimes I quite like not having my phone, or not having my phone next to me. Yeah,
I'm gonna put computer. I'll put computer instead of ukulele because that's just probably. My computer's probably more important.
If you were to throw one out of the window now, I feel like you might throw your ukulele first.
Well, I probably would. If you ask me in a week, I'm sure I'll be bored of the ukulele. But at the moment, okay, good. Okay, I don't think we need to do this. That's fine. All right. So I did check this. Complete the word or phrase. It means what preposition do we want? What is the preposition that collocates with the adjective or with the verb? So number 1, addicted. What preposition do we want? To the students.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect.
Addicted to. Exactly, Alice and Robbie.
Good. Rely. Good. We've got rely on from Robbie and from Giovanni.
Depend on. Fantastic.
Yeah, good. Is the same.
Ooh, interesting. Can't live without.
Yep. Give up. Good. And cut down on. Yeah, Robbie's got all of them.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah. So some of these are phrasal verbs and some of them are just collocations. Give up and cut down on are phrasal verbs. Or cut down.
Beginning to. I'm going to remove that.
Okay.
So if we can get some answers to these questions, yeah, are addictions always unhealthy? What do you think, guys? And please write a full sentence as well. Again.
Yeah. Yes and no are not. They're not really going to help us.
No.
So we can add why. Are addictions always unhealthy? And why do you think? Yes or no? I think for number 1, there is not a definitive correct answer. I think it's a matter of interpretation, really. What do you think?
Sorry, that's my affirmative noise. I probably do it a lot on these videos. But
Well, I think that's your I'm considering it and I'm not yet convinced noise.
No. There's a subtle difference. That would be.
Okay.
Whereas that one's.
Okay.
It's a very subtle difference. So we have an answer from Elise. I think that the word addiction means an unhealthy fixation. Yeah. Lovely sentence.
Yeah. I think that's more or less true. I think literally that I haven't checked actually, but I expect the definition of addiction is that it is a problem. If you're addicted to something, it means it's unhealthy. But in reality,
no, because for example,
yeah, go ahead.
Addicted can be for a good purpose. Okay, can you give us could be for a good purpose? Yeah, can you give us an example? For instance, Giovanni. If you're addicted to something healthy, it will become something bad for you. Interesting. Can you also give us an example for that, Alice?
Yeah.
I think I think kind of as you were saying, Emily, and as the definition Elise gave us before, in unhealthy fixation, I'm sure that's probably how it's defined in the dictionary.
Yeah.
And in that sense, yeah, I completely agree. I think maybe perhaps the way that, I mean, it's partly because of how the question is phrased, but also informally, I think in English we often say that we're addicted to things which are often benign, and that you can sometimes say I'm addicted to things that I like in a way that aren't really bad necessarily.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
So I think it depends on context and how you use the phrase. Whether you would still call that an addiction, I don't know. But
I think you could say addiction, but it's in more of a joking, informal sense when we say it like that. But people say that. So in certain contexts, if you're just joking, we could say, I'm addicted to my ukulele.
Yeah.
And it's not a serious thing. I don't know. Do you know what orthorexic means? I don't know what that means.
Is it related to?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a proposed eating disorder characterized by an excessive preoccupation with eating healthy food.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and I think Alicia is right that because the definition, the formal definition would be, if it's an addiction, it's a problem. Anything in excess
is bad for you. Yeah.
Becomes bad for you. Yeah. And Giovanni said fitness is an example of something that could be good. But
I think, yeah, it's true. I think in a way, perhaps the differences that Giovanni and Alice are giving us are perhaps what we're talking about in this distinction between whether you're talking about a definition of addiction, in that it's always something which is too much for you, which is in excess, like Alice is saying, which is absolutely right. But I think in what Giovanni's saying also is that when you say you're addicted to fitness, it's probably just a kind of informal way of saying you do a lot of fitness and you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Probably. It depends on the addiction. If you're addicted to eating healthy food, it is a good thing. But on the other hand, if you're addicted to the gym and you can't live without it, it could be a problem. This is exactly what we're talking about. Yeah. So Alice has given us orthorexic as an example of when eating healthy food becomes an unhealthy obsession.
Yeah, I think obsession is good in that as well. It's a good word to use.
But obviously, most of the time, it's a good thing to do. And you could say you're addicted to eating healthily, but it has a different sense. If you mean that are you just joking? Are you just exaggerating? Or is it a genuine problem? Okay, I think we've probably explained that well enough.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting question. I think that covers question 2 as well, in that sense too. So if we look at 3, maybe we're still getting some responses, but if we move on to 3, what things, people, do you rely on throughout the day?
Again, this is interesting to talk about now in this context, because the things I rely on in this context are similar but not exactly the same as usual. So I rely on YouTube at the moment for my salary.
Yeah, it's a very good one. And when YouTube breaks, we won't get paid.
I rely on, well, I just rely on my computer a lot at the moment. Okay. Do you want to take
You want to take that?
I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah. So, what things or people do you rely on throughout the day? It means what things or people are essential for you during the day? What do you need in order to function during the day? Or in order to function well? It's a synonym of depend on. Depend on, rely on are the same. What things or people do you depend on throughout the day? Giovanni relies on his parents because they help him to stay sane, maybe? I'm not sure what you mean.
Sane or safe?
Oh, safe could be, yeah.
Safe.
The F is
it's so closer on the keyboard as well.
Yeah.
Safe. They help me to stay safe. Although I rely on my flatmates to keep me sane at the moment.
Safe, okay. To stay safe. Yeah.
Basically, I rely on Netflix right now. Yes. I'm sure lots of people are in the same position.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, and Robbie, we're in the same position. Oops. So for Robbie's sentence here, usually in English, technology is singular. It's more or less an uncountable noun. You occasionally do see it in the plural like this, but it's pretty uncommon. I would say generally technology should be singular, and it means individual. Everything comes under the title technology. Yeah.
And I rely on my family and boyfriend in reality. Yeah. So you've got things and people there as well, which is nice. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so moving on to number 4. What are some things you need to cut down on?
In fact, actually, before you even answer, what would be a synonym of cut down on? What would be a synonym? Or while you answer. Some people probably know already, but maybe some people don't. So we've got leave from Alice, give up from Robbie. I think you guys are saying the same thing, but it's not quite this. So to give up is another good phrasal verb. To give up means to stop completely. So Giovanni, this would be to give up something, give something up. To cut down on means to reduce. So not to stop completely, but to do less of something. To give up is another good phrasal verb there. Exactly, less than give up. Not
Give
quite
up. Give up is total. Reduce, cut down is reduce the size of something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or the time, I guess, too.
Yeah.
Often the time, I think, spent with these things.
Yeah. What are some things you need to cut down on, Gabe?
I perennially need to cut down. I perennially need to cut down the time I spend procrastinating, I think.
Yeah.
And I think also it's a kind of generic one. I need to cut down the amount of time I spend on my computer as well. My phone, I'm fine with. My computer, I spend too long on.
Yeah, I can confirm that Gabriel does not need to cut down on the amount of time he spends on his telephone. Because sometimes it's difficult to contact.
A bare minimum. At least I think that we all need to cut down on our phones, especially when this period finishes.
Yeah. I think, Alicia, we would say, I think that we will all need. Did you mean to do that?
No, I didn't do that. Okay, I have no idea how I did that, to be honest.
Are you writing a correction for Alicia?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I need to cut down on going to sleep late. So we need, for Giovanni's, we need the ing form. But good. Yeah, I need to cut down on going to sleep late. Yeah, on the frequency of that. It's difficult. It's something I struggle with this as well. Keeping a regular sleeping pattern, I find that difficult even in normal situations, but especially at the moment.
I think that we will all need to cut down on our phones when this period finishes.
Yeah, without Bill, Alicia. Pretty simple.
Yeah, and I just swap round we and all in that. We, all of us, yeah. Whoops, you preempted me. Sorry, that's excellent.
I know, but her correction still wasn't
cut down.
Right around.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
But
I also need to cut down on baking cakes. Like a crazy one. Okay, nice.
Baking cakes is a good idea at the moment. Maybe I should. I don't really bake, but maybe I should start.
I think, as Alicia says earlier, it really depends on how many cakes she's baking. Because, if you're baking 10, 12 a day, maybe that's an addiction.
12 cakes a day?
Maybe you need to cut down.
One a day is too much.
Chain baking cakes. That's nice, though. Really good example.
Yeah. Should we go for it?
Yeah. What have we got next? We've got a lot of phone stuff next.
Yeah. Alicia is becoming addicted to baking cakes. It's becoming a problem.
Yeah. As you said, all good things can be bad in excess. I quite agree.
Are you dependent on your phone? To Gabe and to all the students, are you dependent on your phone?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Gabe?
I'm not dependent on my phone. I quite like having the freedom of being without my phone. I am dependent on my computer, as I said.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think I'm dependent on my phone. I use it a lot. And at the moment, so while we're in quarantine, I'm less dependent on my phone actually, because I have my computer all the time. But in normal life, I'm dependent on my phone because I don't take my computer out with me. So when I go to work or when I go around town or whatever, I'm dependent on my phone for contact. Obviously, is the most important thing, but also for entertainment. I read a lot of stuff on my phone. I listen to music on my phone. I get the news on my phone. I listen to other stuff, audiobooks and things. So yes, I definitely am.
Giovanni says, generally, I'm not dependent on my phone, but I use it a lot when I don't have things to do. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
I think it's a kind of fallback, isn't it? A thing. I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
When there's nothing to do, really.
Yeah. And Giovanni, just be careful with the verb use. This is transitive. So we have to say, I use it a lot. We have to have the object. Good. Is 3 hours a good or bad average? I don't know.
On a phone.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound great to me. I don't know, but that's it.
I think I spend 3 hours using my phone, but not always looking at my phone, but listening to music or audiobooks or something on it. Or podcasts.
That's true.
I don't know if that counts. If I'm not looking at it, but I'm listening to something with it. I agree with Alice for this as well. I don't think I'm dependent on my phone, but for sure I always go to the bathroom with it. I do that too. It's so annoying to go to the loo these days without my phone. Or the last couple of days without my ukulele. That's fun on the loo.
You use your ukulele on the loo.
Well, that's on YouTube now.
I'm addicted to using my ukulele on the loo. Dogs, please help me. We learn new things about one another each day.
This is a very new development. So. Okay, let's move on.
Let's move on. So 3 hours per day is a good average for me. Yeah. Okay. So we would say 3 hours. Probably when we're giving a time scale for frequency. In this case, we would say 3 hours per day. Just on that, Giovanni.
Yeah, or
3 hours.
3 hours a
or
day.
a day. Yeah, you could say that as well. 3 hours a day. Yeah.
And Robbie says, this is a good sentence. Usually I'm not, but at the moment I'm definitely dependent on my phone to keep in touch with everyone. Yeah.
And Elise says, when I'm bored, sometimes at work, I look at my phone constantly. Yeah, I use it as a clock. Yeah, me too.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
And it makes time go more slowly in my experience.
Always checking the time on your phone.
When you look at the time, yeah.
Yeah, but that's the same, not just with your phone, but with any clock.
I know, but I think having the phone makes it easier kind of to keep checking it in a way. So it's almost like the accessibility makes it time go even more slowly for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
I think 3 and 4 are pretty similar. 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
What about number 5? How dependent are you on technology to perform everyday tasks? Let's say, not including your phone, other types of technology. What other types of technology do you need to get through the day? Well, computer, obviously. I need a computer. At the moment, I need a computer for everything. To talk to people, to work, entertainment.
I don't know if this is a good example of dependence on technology, but I always use a calculator.
Even for 2 plus 2.
2 plus 2. Yeah, yeah.
That's a good example.
Brilliant example, yeah.
And a good sentence as well. Oops, sorry. I need my computer to use it for work. Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think if I have any other. In the past, I used my iPod all the time, but not anymore. And I guess it's not really for everyday tasks. Computer, nothing else. Yeah. Do you have any kitchen gadgets, Gabe?
We have an Alexa here.
Oh, do you?
But
does she help?
Not really. I think she's. You kind of got to learn the specific commands a little bit in Italian as well.
Oh, in Italian,
she's yeah, exactly. And she's. I think one of the speakers is broken, so it's like she's really disobedient as well. She often will just not do anything.
Depends if she's in the mood or not.
Exactly. But I could quite happily live without Alexa. I'm glad I'm in my bedroom because I don't want that to be her.
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking. My dad is quite into strange pieces of technology. So my dad now, he has an electronic lock on his front door. Well, I mean, it just means that you input a code, but the reason he got it was so that he can give the code for his front door to a supermarket, Waitrose, which is a British supermarket, and then Waitrose will come into his house if he's not there with his shopping and put it all in the fridge for him.
And could he live without that?
Well,
I couldn't possibly live without Waitrose entering my front door.
Yes, that's a good point.
That's a niche bit of kit.
Yeah. Alicia says there's probably an iPod cemetery somewhere. Yeah, I should probably. Well, I don't know. Can you?
You can recycle the bits. I think you can. If you give them in, they take it apart and use the spare bits for things. This is kind of what is creeping me out about Facebook as well. They've increasingly said that, obviously, with people passing away, that there's a whole. I don't know if Facebook have done stuff about that now, but that there's a whole kind of graveyard Facebook of people who are passed away, which is a bit creepy.
Yeah, that is creepy. Yeah,
it becomes more of a memorial in a way.
Yeah.
Giovanni says 10 years ago, I used my
You click it.
Okay. I used my iPod for listening, but actually I use my phone with Spotify. Yeah.
Listening, yeah.
But now you use. Okay. Which do you want to take? I was just going to say, yeah. So we would probably say now for actually in this sense, because actually is, you probably know, but actually is a little bit of a false friend. Attualmente, in the sense of at the moment, or in this current sense, is not the same as actually, which actually is in English more of a synonym of in reality this is the case. It's not about time, it's about kind of reality rather than hypothetically, in a way. So we would probably say 10 years ago I used my iPod for listening to music, but now I use my phone with Spotify.
Yeah. And we always have to say listening to. Listening needs the preposition. Listening to the radio, listening to the teacher, listening to music. Yeah. Yes, and a Tamagotchi cemetery somewhere as well, I guess. I never had a Tamagotchi.
I feel like, I don't know if that was the generation slightly before me. I don't know. What generation do you think Tamagotchi is?
Maybe a little bit before us. Well, before me, I think, as well. So definitely before you.
Yeah. Is it quite 90s kind of thing? Yeah, I feel like it was mid-90s.
And then, would you be able to give up your phone? And why? To the students, would you be able to give up your phone, and why?
Yeah, last question, because we have to leave in a couple of minutes. So. 33 years old. Okay, so that kind of concurs with the late 90s period. Yeah.
Yeah, I was born in 1992, so I was probably just too young. I probably just missed them because, I would have been like 5. For number 6, I would be able to give up a smartphone. I think I could move to an old non-smartphone and be okay.
It's quite difficult though, actually. I don't know. I mean, I have we call non-smartphones. There's a kind of informal term for it in English, well, certainly in the UK, which is a brick phone. And I have a brick phone with me. But the thing is, with work and things like that nowadays, they increasingly use WhatsApp and other social media apps to connect, and I actually want to downgrade in a way, but I don't think it's possible given work.
That's true.
Commitments.
Well, but maybe the answer is no. I would not be able to give up my phone. Yeah, you're right. I mean, what I was thinking was the only really essential thing with my phone is that it allows me to contact people. But you're right. It's all done on internet. It's all done through the internet these days. But we need to stop.
Yes, we do.
But it was good to meet everybody.
Yeah, some fantastic examples from people there.
So.
Yeah, we have another 8 to 10 on Saturday, if you're around, guys. I know it's a long way away. But
11 a.m. on Saturday.
11 a.m. on Saturday. And I need to rest. I'm able to give up my phone. I switch it off and sleep. And Alicia says, I don't think so. I would not be able to give up my phone.
Yeah. Yeah, and
from
Robbie's comment, I think if you can only give it up while you're sleeping, it probably means you wouldn't be able to give it up.
It's true. It's true.
I'm not sure that counts while you're asleep.
Well, whilst you're semi-unconscious, it's not the same thing. That's cheating slightly. And from Giovanni, we have, I'm not able to give up my phone, especially in this period. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
All right. Have a nice evening, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.